I was going to be Dr. Frankenstein, but Roman said, and I quote, "That dude sounds like a grade D dork. You should be the scary monster instead. You know, the real Frankenstein."
You wrote all that down?
Oh, I try to jot down anything that is said to me that is unprecedentedly stupid. It is important to keep receipts.
Wolfman?
Yeah, Wolfman. It was Wolfman.
Yeah, Wolfman.
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 Have you forgotten about the graph that I illustrated of the
Yerkes-Dodson curve?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. You remembered something that I taught you for once. How hard is it to distress someone? I mean, just watch. Thomas, given human beings limited years, there's a cap on how many things you'll be able to make in your lifetime, meaning you probably don't have the time to create everything that you want.
Oh my God.
What? I can't help but be reminded of Erikson's
What a name.
theory of psychosocial development.
What a name.
Particularly the fourth psychosocial crisis, entitled Industry versus Inferiority. A sense of competence when developing skills. If unsuccessful, one could develop feelings of inferiority. All of the relentless waves of hormones and emotions. No one could understand me. I don't want to overload anyone with information.
Since when?
But this also sounds like one of Erikson's stages of psychosocial development. Identity versus role confusion. One's search for personal identity and a sense of self. Ah, his burlap sack phase? The generativity versus stagnation stage does share a few notable qualities with Thomas's vine phase.
Well, why don't you generate an explanation for us, Logan?
Holy shit. Well, the function of this stage is ideally to figuratively make your mark on the world through creating or nurturing something that will outlast you. Your boy has delivered some ill-conceived content. Then I, the brilliant Logan, think we should hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Ah, for David!
Logan.
You guys are doing a courtroom scenario? Without me? Unacceptable.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have been impersonated. Did you ever think about that?
Impersonate.
Deceive!
Yeah,
we know!
Can't say I'm happy about it.
Why is he still here?
He doesn't like Nazis.
That can't be where the bar is.
I guess he does know some idioms.
You are Thomas's stinky poo-poo side, correct?
What? No! I am Thomas's logical side.
Oh, right. Of course.
There's always room for me.
But Patton insisted we leave you alone.
Objection! Misleading the witness! Thomas has several friends, and they all tend to distract him from his responsibilities, so perhaps 2 less isn't so bad. I don't feel anything.
Oh, of course you don't.
I am the primary overseer of Thomas's Language Center. I am the director of activities for Thomas's right arm.
Just the right?
The left arm is managed by Roman.
Roman!
It's real mature, Your Honor. The development of a life management system in order to form a more productive, punctual Thomas. 2 hours, 15 minutes, 45 seconds, 46 seconds, 47 seconds.
Today!
Benched trial for you.
Really?
I don't. I'm through with my questioning.
Correction, that was more like lecturing. Yeah, it almost feels like you're not sitting this one out.
Falsehood.
Oh my God!
Why don't you just leave the teaching to me? He said he wasn't going anywhere. He's a classic liar. I'm skeptical about whether a society could function without some sort of system of laws by which all of its citizens abide. Well, of course you feel that way. You love rules. Love is a strong word, but I do appreciate order. And I'm glad to see that the figurative scales of justice have reached equilibrium on this day.
Oh, scales of justice. Logan, you're better at this than I am.
For the love of Archimedes, I will never intentionally make a pun. He needs to eat his HelloFresh salsa verde enchiladas for actual sustenance. Guys, ooh, apologies, Thomas. I thought you were looking in that direction. I can't believe you're making me do this. What do you need?
It's easy for you to say.
Why wouldn't it have been easy to say? It was an 8-word sentence. That's not exactly laborious. Your most extreme reaction is an eyebrow raise.
Falsehood!
I stand corrected. What are you talking about?
Lot of good that did him.
It didn't do him any good.
Yeah, right.
In fact, that kind of repression doesn't do anybody any good because it doesn't work. In the 1980s, Virginia psychologist Daniel Wegner performed the white bear experiments, which demonstrated that the more one tries to force out a thought, the more intrusive and or repetitive said thought becomes. Don't think about,
a goldfish in a condom.
Okay. That works. Go. Subjects were asked to speak about whatever they wanted, with only one caveat. They were not allowed to think about a white bear. Despite that rule, according to Wegner, subjects mentioned the bear about once per minute.
This dork's deceit in disguise.
No! What? Again? Deceit? Show yourself! No, it's actually me. I knew that. You have to understand that life is not so black and white, as they say. You're attacking my livelihood now? Thomas's friends and family is one thing, but his work? Is nothing sacred? Why is the cradle in a treetop? No one knows. Irresponsible parenting. Okay, but there's definitely something wrong with him. Okay, you two are blowing this way out of proportion. Logan, I'm sorry, but Thomas can't logic his way out of this one. Thomas had twisted thoughts that a stable person would never have. Actually, a stable person, as you put it, could absolutely have those thoughts. Shut your mouth or I'll tear off your nipples and shove them up your nose. Why? In trying to distract yourself from those unwanted thoughts, you seem to have created a mental connection between 2005's Just Like Heaven and last night's intrusive thoughts that wouldn't have otherwise existed. Not acting on every thought that he has isn't faking anything. I can't think of how one would fake not doing something other than by doing something and hiding that they're doing it. I can assure you he's not. You're just expressing an unhealthy amount of concern. If a thought like that pops into your head, but you're not bothered by it at all, that could be a problem. There's a reason why the Duke has continuously used religious language. He's playing to your sensitivities. It's fine if you disapprove of toxic thinking, but you can't banish any and all unpleasant thoughts when there's a constant stream of thoughts going through your head at all times. Not only does repression not work, but it can be very bad indeed. I understand that your natural human reaction when you see something disturbing is to look away, but if you let me examine the Duke's contributions, then I could expose him for being unrealistic and figuratively dress him down.
Oh, well, if that's what you wanted, Logan, you could have just said so.
I said figuratively, and that is why I say it.
That is why I say it!
Oh my goodness. Patton is being too strict. It's not me for once? What does that mean? Am I cool? Does this make me cool? Am I being cool? You just reek. Figuratively. The truth is, Remus, you don't get to me in the slightest. Object impermanence renders you pretty unintimidating. What's so frightening about something with no real-world impact?
You killed him!
He does make an impact! Does he? He'd have a much harder time hurting you. So what do you think? Can we logic our way out of this one?
I think we can!
Not really, no. There's no way to force intrusive thoughts out of your head. Please pay attention.
Is he gone?
No, I think he's gone.
Nails on a chalkboard!
Oh God! Don't do that. Never check to see if you've successfully gotten rid of him. You must accept that these thoughts just happen. It's like if you had a child who, despite all of your best efforts, refuses to stop screaming on an airplane. Just accept it. They'll tire themselves out in time, and you can better address the issue later. Other passengers on the plane might become frustrated, and that's okay too. Everything is okay. When something is hurting you or inhibiting you, you seek someone who can help. Your next course of action should be settling into bed for the night to revitalize your immune system as well as your short-term memory. You wouldn't want to forget everything you've just learned. Logan, thank you so much. Oh, please, don't mention it. Just another day's work. No, seriously, you're really cool.
Oh my goodness, 100% of the votes went to Frozen!
Falsehood, I did not vote for Frozen. You don't get a vote because you didn't wear a onesie. I don't wear those anymore, they're too childish. Psychologists might be more inclined to call a distraction in this context refocusing or redirecting. In a situation like this one, in which there presently does not seem to be an action that Thomas can take to address his feelings without exacerbating the problem, temporarily redirecting his attention to something good or neutral can be beneficial. I might need you to leave if you don't stop. Externalization means giving one's attention to a sensation outside of one's own body. It's helpful because it can be much easier to give your focus to something than it is to actively take your focus away from something. Half committing to one option and subsequently panicking about whether that option is our best option until it's too late for Thomas to change his mind. Wait, Hans is tricking Anna into believing that he's in love with her, but she's not around, so why did he make that face? Hey, yeah! So, what's happening now with her? She really shouldn't let go of any more of her clothing, that's for sure. She's gonna freeze to death. Do you think this ice castle has a lavatory?
Ice toilet!
Or a bed?
Ice bed!
This place sounds awful. You meddled with the vote to ensure that we would watch this, and yet you're the one constantly making fun of it. And name 5 things that you can see. 4 things that you can feel. 3 things that you can hear. 2 things that you can smell. And 1 thing that you can taste. Was an exercise to remind you that you are here, now, in your apartment. Not somewhere else, dealing with something else. You are safe. No problem, just you're a cool teacher being his cool self. So, Elsa's power set includes freezing water, freezing objects, creating ice and snow from nothing, instantly creating anything she can imagine out of ice, poison ice blast that slowly kill you, giving life to snow and or ice, erasing fabric from existence, creating fabric from ice, I guess, melting snow and ice, telekinetic manipulation of frozen water, creating an eternal winter, creating an eternal mini winter snow cloud that can follow a subject around wherever they go, and reviving dead flora. Are we going to amend the inconsistencies in the internal logic of the original film?
And has already evaporated.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ever said those things about you.